everyone. So these are a couple different basic blending methods. The very first one we're going to look at is just layering. So this is a lot like what you're going to use on your black and white pictures. For this, mostly you're depending on pressure to create deepening color, and also in this one I'm layering 3 different greens that are all very similarly colored and then going with pressure within each different color. I'm making sure to use my brush strokes to sort of shape the ball and make sure there's a highlight on it, so everything's sort of wrapping around it, continually pushing down, but never getting very hard. I don't want to like press down the tooth of the paper. So in this one, we're just counting on pressure, but never actually getting it to like shiny section. That can happen when you apply lots and lots of pressure. I like to work from dark to light and allow the light to overlap over the dark because that's what gives me a lot of the more delicate shading. So now I've done that to all of the different circles, a basic layer of some layered blending. And on this one, the first option here is colorless blender. So you may or may not have one of these pencils in your pack. I have both a colorless pencil and a colorless blending stick here, but essentially it's just a wax, clear wax. It's the binder that's in all of your pencils. I use it and work out in circles, and it slowly creates the effect of closing in all the pores of the paper. That's where my tripod fell down. So here we're working on burnishing. So if the colorless blender is like burnishing with no color, then burnishing is what closes the pores of the paper. It makes all of the like grittiness and texture of the paper that's showing through disappear, and it has to do a lot with pressure. So here we're working with just adding more pressure to the 3 colors we were already using. So essentially doing harder pressure, but doing the same techniques we did in layering, working up from dark to light. The benefits is it also increases the depth of the color. As you can see, each little sample we've done so far has gotten more and more saturated. So colorless blender gives it a little bit more saturation because it closes in all those little white grits, but burnishing gives it the most. So the second section of burnishing I'm doing it with white pencil over everything, and then just a little bit of gray in the shadowed base. So this could be useful if a lot of your colors seem very vibrant to you, going over them with a tone to sort of shift them more towards a neutral or a white or a gray. You can see it sort of knocks the saturation down a little bit and makes them a more realistic color. And then this third burnishing we're doing is with a blue pencil, both a dark and a light. So still building up from the darkest area, I'm applying a lot of pressure. But because the color is a little transparent still with colored pencils, you're still getting the green underneath. This is just blending the 2 layers together. So it's like doing a wash over it in watercolor, essentially in a blue. So I'm just toning the color towards a blue frame. And that is the 3 different types of blending. So hopefully this can kind of get you started with what you're working on. You can use any of these in your project 1. And I'd try doing it in some little circles first, just for practice. But hopefully this sort of gets us all on the right track.